The message arrives. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply appears, a sudden vibration against your leg, a quiet chime that cuts through the silence of your focus. You glance down, 3 sentences, maybe 4. That's all it takes. In less than 5 seconds, the entire architecture of your morning, the careful construction of your concentration, is demolished. You can feel the shift instantly. It's a physical event. The subtle warmth that spreads across your chest, the tightening in your throat, the almost imperceptible clenching of your jaw. Your heart, which was beating at a calm, steady rhythm, now accelerates, a frantic drumbeat signaling an unseen threat. Your breathing becomes shallow. The project you were working on, the state of flow you had so carefully cultivated, now seems a million miles away. It's a distant memory from a calmer, more rational world. Your mind has been hijacked. This is the moment of weakness. This is the hook. It's a carefully crafted piece of bait, dipped in the poison of someone else's emotional chaos, and cast directly into the waters of your mind. And for 99% of people, the reaction is as predictable as a law of physics. They bite. They bite down hard. They swallow the hook, the line, and the sinker. They react. Their thumbs begin to move with a frantic energy, typing out long, impassioned paragraphs, a torrent of justification and defense. They pour their precious mental energy into crafting the perfect response, a response they will delete, rewrite, and scrutinize a dozen times before sending. They might even type it out and then, in a moment of fleeting clarity, delete it entirely, but the damage is already done. The poison is in. They have allowed an external event, a few carelessly chosen words from another person, to dictate their internal state. They have surrendered the command of their own mind. Think about the sheer cost of this moment. It isn't just the 5 or 10 minutes spent staring at the screen. It's the hours that follow, the mental echo of the conflict, the replaying of the conversation, the imagining of future arguments. It's the complete loss of productive momentum. Your attention, your most valuable and finite resource, has been stolen from you. You were building your empire, laying the bricks of your future, and you stopped everything to argue with an invader at the gate. You let them set fire to your work. This is the tragic, silent battle being lost in millions of minds every single day. We are trained by our culture and our biology to react, to defend, to engage. We are told that to ignore is to be weak, that to walk away is to concede. And so, we fight. We fight over trivialities. We get drawn into pointless dramas, and we sacrifice our peace and our progress on the altar of someone else's instability. But there is another way. There exists a small fraction of people, perhaps only 1%, who operate on a different protocol. They are the executors, the commanders, the true sovereigns of their own minds. When the message arrives, they feel the same initial surge of adrenaline. They are human, after all. They feel the pull, the temptation to react. They see the hook, glittering with the irresistible bait of outrage and injustice. But here, in this critical moment, they do something radically different. They pause. They observe the emotion rising within them, but they do not become it. They see the hook for what it is. A crude and simple trap designed to steal their focus, and they do not bite. They consciously and deliberately choose to remain the master of their own internal state. They recognize that their peace is more valuable than winning a pointless argument. They understand that their mission is more important than someone else's drama. They remain the commander. And today, you will learn how to join them. You feel it, don't you? That immediate, gut-level compulsion to engage. The moment their words hit your screen, a powerful script begins to run in your mind, a program installed in you since childhood. It tells you that you must respond. It frames inaction as weakness, as surrender. It whispers a series of seemingly logical justifications, and they sound so reasonable, so responsible. You tell yourself, I have to defend my position. You see your character, your intelligence, or your integrity being questioned, and an ancient primal instinct to protect your status in the tribe kicks in. To let the accusation stand feels like accepting a lower rank, like admitting defeat. You believe that your silence will be interpreted as guilt, and so you prepare for battle, marshaling your arguments and preparing to launch a counteroffensive of facts and logic. Or perhaps the script that runs is the one of the righteous corrector. You see their flawed logic, their emotional reasoning, their blatant misrepresentation of the truth, and you feel an intellectual duty to fix it. Quote zero, you think. It's not even about you. It's about the principle. You see a fire of ignorance and feel compelled to be the one to extinguish it with the clean, cold water of reality. You imagine the satisfaction of pointing out their error, of setting the record straight, of restoring order to a chaotic and illogical world. You feel that by engaging, you are serving a higher purpose, the purpose of truth itself. And then there is the most insidious script of all, the one that masquerades as compassion, the one that says, quote one, you see their emotional outburst not as an attack, but as a cry for help. You absorb their chaos and feel a sense of responsibility for their internal state. You are the peacemaker, the diplomat, the fixer. You believe that if you just choose your words carefully enough, if you can just soothe their ego and validate their pain, you can guide them back to a place of calm. You take on the immense burden of navigating their emotional minefield, believing that the power to create harmony rests solely on your shoulders. This is the illusion. Every single one of these justifications, from the noble defender to the compassionate savior, is a lie. They are sophisticated, elegant traps designed by your own mind to keep you weak, to keep you entangled. The reality is this: your emotional reaction is the very thing they are mining for. It is the prize. Your engagement, regardless of its content or intent, is their victory. The moment you type a response, the moment your heart rate quickens and you enter their emotional arena, you have already lost. Because when you react, you are implicitly validating their frame. You are agreeing that their drama is worthy of your time, that their emotional state has the power to dictate your actions. You are not a negotiator in a conflict. You have willingly become a puppet, and your emotions are the strings they are so expertly pulling. Every attempt you make to quote to their drama with your own emotional energy is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. You pour your focus, your logic, your compassion into the blaze, and it only burns hotter, consuming you in the process. You are not fighting them. You are fighting yourself, destroying your own mental armor from the inside out. The solution to this modern poison is not found in a productivity app or a new age wellness retreat. It is ancient. It was forged in the heart of an empire, drowning in its own chaos, by a man who understood powerlessness better than any emperor. His name was Epictetus. He was born a slave in the Roman Empire, his body legally the property of another man. His leg was deliberately broken by his master, leaving him crippled for life. He had no control over his body, his freedom, or his station. And yet, from this position of absolute external weakness, he discovered the source of absolute internal strength. He laid down a law so fundamental, so unbreakable, that it has served as the operating system for the world's greatest leaders, artists, and warriors for nearly 2,000 years. It is called the Dichotomy of Control, and it is the key to your freedom. Epictetus stated it with stark, irrefutable clarity. He said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." It sounds simple. It sounds obvious. But within this simplicity lies the blueprint for an impenetrable mind. Let's dissect it. Within our power, he said, are our opinions, our motivations, our desires, and our aversions. In a word, whatever is of our own doing. Think about that. Not the event itself, but your opinion of it. The story you tell yourself about the provocative text message, that is yours. Your motivation, the reason you get out of bed, the mission you have set for yourself, that is yours. Your desire, what you choose to aim for. Your aversion, what you choose to turn away from. These are the levers of your soul, and your hands, and only your hands are on them. This is your sacred territory. Then Epictetus defines the other side of the universe. The things not within our power, our body, our property, our reputation, our position in life, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. Your body can get sick, your property can be lost, and your reputation. Your reputation exists entirely in the minds of other people. You have no direct control over it. And this is the critical point. The emotional state of another person, their sudden anger, their manipulative guilt-tripping, their chaotic drama, is unequivocally 100% not of our own doing. It is an external event. It is as external as the weather. You can rail against the rain, you can curse the storm, but you cannot stop it from falling. You can only choose to bring an umbrella and remain dry. Their emotional outburst is the rain. Their attempt to hook you is the storm. These things are happening outside of you. They are outside of your jurisdiction. Imagine a kingdom. You are the sole, undisputed sovereign of your own mind, your thoughts, your judgments, your actions. That is your kingdom. Everything else, the opinions of others, their emotional reactions, their choices, that is foreign territory. When you react emotionally to their drama, you are, in effect, abandoning your own throne to go fight a peasant uprising in another land. You are neglecting your own kingdom, which falls into disarray, all to meddle in affairs where you have no true authority and can never truly win. The only battlefield that matters, the only war you can ever truly win, is the one for control over your own response. Their drama is not your responsibility. Their feelings are not your burden to carry. Their chaos is not your mess to clean. The only territory you are commanded to defend is the 6 inches of space between your ears. Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is a trap. Understanding this is not passive. It is the highest form of action. It is the silent, internal declaration that you and you alone are the authority in your own life. Understanding this battlefield is one thing. Commanding it is another. This requires a new set of rules. A tactical doctrine for the mind forged not in weakness, but in the unshakable discipline of the ancients. You will now be issued your directives for mental armor. These are the 8 Stoic laws of detachment. Commit them to memory. Inscribe them upon your mind. And when the time comes, execute them without hesitation. Law number 1. The law of observation, not absorption. When the hostile message arrives, You will not see it as an attack on your character. You will see it as data. Imagine you are a scientist observing a volatile chemical reaction behind protective glass. You note the colors, the heat, the instability. You label it, quote 4 or quote 5. You study it, understand its properties, but you do not open the container and let it spill on you. To absorb their emotion is to become part of their chaotic reaction. To observe it is to maintain your position as the one in control, the one with the clipboard and the clear mind. You will observe, you will label, and you will remain untouched. Law number 2, the law of the internal citadel. Your mind is a fortress. It is the last and only sovereign territory you truly command. Every other thing in your life can be threatened, but not this. Not without your permission. An emotional response to an external provocation is not a defense. It is an act of treason. It is lowering the drawbridge and inviting the enemy's army inside to pillage your resources. Your peace, your focus, your clarity. These are your kingdom's treasures. You would not hand them over to a stranger at the gates. So why do you surrender them to a few provocative words on a screen? Your internal peace is non-negotiable. The gates will remain sealed. Law number 3, the law of strategic silence. The amateur believes every challenge must be met with a retort. The master understands that the most devastating response to emotional bait is often no response at all. Silence is not weakness. It is a profound statement of power. It communicates, quote 6. It denies them the very thing they crave, your energy. It starves their fire of the oxygen of your attention. They are left shouting into a void, their power dissolving into nothingness. Law number 4, the law of controlled response. There are times when a reply is mission critical. In these instances, you will not engage their emotion. You will engage only the facts. Your response will be logical, brief, and as devoid of emotional charge as a surgeon's scalpel. If they send a 10-paragraph essay filled with accusations and feelings, and at the bottom is a single logistical question, you will answer only that question. You will surgically extract the fact from the feeling and discard the rest. This is not about winning an argument. It is about efficiently completing an objective while protecting your state. Law number 5, the law of assent withdrawal. Their dramatic narrative, their story of how you have wronged them, is simply their perception. It is a version of reality, but it is not reality itself. It only gains power. It only becomes real in your world if you assent to it. If you agree to fight on their terms, within their story. You will withhold your assent. You will refuse to validate their frame. You can hear their story and simply decide that is your interpretation. It is not my reality. By refusing to consent, their narrative collapses. It remains their opinion, a cloud of smoke with nothing solid inside. Law number 6, the law of premeditation. The wise warrior does not wait for the ambush. He anticipates it. You will identify the known hostiles in your life, the recurring sources of drama. You will expect their attacks. You will not hope they will be different this time. You will know they will act according to their nature. So when the inevitable message arrives, there is no shock. There is no surprise. There is only recognition. Ah, there it is. Right on schedule. This preparation neutralizes 80% of the emotional impact. You are not a victim of a surprise attack. You are a sentinel who saw it coming from a mile away. Law number 7, the law of external indifference. You have been conditioned to believe you are the custodian of other people's feelings. This is a lie that keeps you shackled. The emotional state of another adult, is their sovereign territory, and therefore their responsibility. You are responsible for your actions and your intentions. You are not responsible for their interpretation of those actions. You must release the false burden of managing their emotional chaos. Trying to do so is an arrogant and futile act. Grant them the dignity of their own struggle, and grant yourself the freedom of detachment. Finally, law number 8, the law of action over opinion. Their words are noise. Your mission is the signal. Every second you spend entangled in their drama is a second stolen from your purpose. The ultimate reply to criticism, to manipulation, to emotional noise is not a clever comeback. It is overwhelming progress in the real world. It is execution. Disengage from the noise. Re-engage with your primary objectives. Your results will be your only reply. Let them talk. You will build. You have been issued your armor. You have been given the laws of engagement. You now possess the tactical knowledge that separates the executor from the emotionally enslaved. But knowledge, left on the shelf, is nothing more than decoration. It is a sword that is never drawn, a shield that is never raised. The true test is not in the knowing, it is in the doing. The chasm between the person you are now and the person you are capable of becoming is bridged by a single, decisive action. This is that moment. This is where theory dies and reality is born. Your training is over. Your first mission begins now. You have 24 hours. Your objective is to implement law number 3, the law of strategic silence. This is not a suggestion. This is your primary command. Within the next 24 hours, an opportunity will present itself. It is a statistical certainty. A text message laced with passive aggression will arrive. An email with an accusatory tone will land in your inbox. A comment designed to provoke will appear. The hook will be cast, just as it always is. The bait will be dangled, shimmering with the promise of righteous indignation and the sweet, temporary relief of a counterattack. Your mission is to resist. When the hook is presented, you will not bite. You will not type a single character in response. You will not draft an angry paragraph only to delete it. You will not even entertain the debate in the theater of your own mind. You will do 2 things, and 2 things only. First, you will observe. You will look at the message not as a personal attack, but as a predictable piece of data. You will see the attempt to hijack your emotional state for what it is, a primitive tactic used by those who have no authority over their own inner world. You will label it, "This is bait." And then you will execute the second most critical step. You will return to your work. You will put the phone down. You will close the tab. You will turn your focus back to your primary objective, to the mission that truly matters. This will feel unnatural. It will feel like surrender. Your nervous system, conditioned for years to react, will scream for a fight. It will tell you that silence is weakness, that your lack of response is an admission of guilt. This is the final illusion of the trap. You must understand that strategic silence is not passive. It is an active, deafening declaration of power. It is a statement that says, "Your chaos has no jurisdiction here. Your drama has no currency in my world. My peace is not for sale, and my focus is not for you to steal." You are not ignoring the fire. You are denying it the oxygen it needs to burn. You are letting it suffocate on its own malice. To cement this command, to forge this new neural pathway from a fragile idea into an unbreakable habit, you must perform a ritual. You must signal your commitment not just to yourself, but to the world. Go to the comments section of this briefing right now and write your affirmation. This is not for me. It is for you. It is the act of taking a mental concept and giving it physical form. It is the first step in rewiring your identity. The affirmation is, "My mind is a fortress." Write it now. Let it be your public declaration that the gates are closed. Let it be the first brick you lay in the wall of your internal citadel. Subscribe for the next briefing. The weak will hesitate. The strong will execute. Dismissed.